Okay, now. There we go. See? Yeah, so as I started to say here, so these guys are not really primed like super well. I usually light prime them. But I do need them to be fully black for this. So we're going to start. What I think we do is we're going to paint Scissor. Whoa, buddy. Buddy. We're going to paint Scissorus for sure. And then one of these two fine fellas. So either the Stormlord. He has a first name, but I don't remember it. Or the Deceiver. But this one we're not gonna paint gold, so we're gonna do something crazy. Um, because my Necrons are really fast. It's like a very speed painted thing. Usually I would do all of them together, but since it's a video, like a stream and stuff, we're gonna do one fully, then move on to the next and do full and so on. But we'll start with like a primer, and we'll prime all of them just to get that done, and then we'll get like started for realsies. How's that sound? All right. So let's get the airbrush ready. Excuse me. What the fuck is that? Oh yeah. My alarm. Yeah, so the stream changed date a couple of times. Apologies about that. Basically, I was supposed to go to the barber shop to get my hair unfucked because I look like a homeless person under this cap. But my guy is sick, so he canceled this morning. Oh well, it's okay because I misplanned this stream anyway. So it kind of all worked out. Besides the fact that I look like a homeless person under the cap. But we'll get that sorted. I'll try to find somewhere that has like a walk-in today, and that will solve that issue for me. And it allows me to spend some quality time with some pretty sexy Necrons. All right, so let's start with this fine fella. I'm usually like pretty light-handed on the shaker can because I like this like combo of things, but this one might have been like a 2. Like there's barely any primer on there. Too light-handed. That's like a first for me. I've never. I don't think anybody's ever said that about me ever. No, not a lot of people play guards here in Quebec City, so I don't know what to do with that little human feller. Because usually I try to do like stuff that my friends have, just because it's good old fashioned camaraderie, So like when there's like Dead Chaos Space Marines, I do a Black Legion because my buddy PL has Black Legion. So on the off chance I play with him, that's what we do. But Imperial Guard is not like a very popular faction here. I was playing a game at the store the other day, yesterday actually, and that's what the guys were saying. Like the guy that play competitively and stuff are like, well, yeah, we can't play this against Guard and we can't play this against Votan because nobody plays those factions. Like, oh, that's okay. And then we're not gonna do all of them mix and match. We're gonna do one, finish it. But for the primer, I think it's much smarter to just do all the primer right now. So we're just gonna prime everything. It's gonna take like a minute, and then we'll get on to some like actual painting. This one I should have left the cloak unassembled. I don't know why I put the cloak on there. This is a stupid idea. because it would be so much easier to just spray the good color instead of. Because now it's got this weird like inner angle. Yes, yeah. So I have so the Necron color scheme is going to be very easy. It's like silver, dark green, and bright green. There's like it's basically like three colors, but three colors that look kind of nice, not just like flat three colors. Do some effect on them. It's like matte silver, and then dark green, and then a bright green to get something catching, and then the bases are like orange-ish. And then, but this guy is going to be the interesting one because I don't want to do it gold because I have nothing gold in my army. So probably some sort of like bright green because my Nightbringer is also like bright green under the like a black hood. So I think maybe we do them all sort of the same. The Transcendants are also bright green, and I have yet to buy a Void Dragoon. Okay. Alright, perfect. So that now that our shitty primer is no longer shitty primer, it's just a regular old black primer, we are good to go. Bap bap. Okay, so we'll start with Thesaurus, and then again, the smart way is to do all of them together. But since this is like a live stream, we're going to do one of them, and then we're going to do the next one, and then so on. Just because it's more interesting, and maybe I can chop it up and do multiple like videos for posterity, you know. So yeah, so we're just gonna do this, but again, they go really fast. So it doesn't matter. This is the deal here. Where's the thing? Please hold. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. We are back. And so like these are I think we need like 7 colors, including this black. This is not really. Oh well, this guy we're gonna need more because of the dead guy on the base, right? That's like a. This is gonna be literally the most colorful of all of our army because he has a dead. Well, he's I think partly dead, right? Like he's not fully gone yet, you know. That little dude over there, yeah, he's still with us, sort of with us, you know. Okay, so let's get our lead belcher hair. I like that one a lot because it's like lead belcher, but it's really matte, so I like it just because of that. Yes, but not for like we're not using it for this specific technique because we're gonna use a lot of that black for our like for a shadow. So we're gonna essentially we're doing a zenithal but with our base coats. We're gonna leave a bunch of that black for the shadows. That's why it was important that they were fully black and not just like half primed, like what we were doing. But for other techniques, it's really great, the Zenithal primer, just not this specific case here. So if we because we can do the same like kind of approach, which is like we start from the top and then we move around like ever so slightly. Because for all intents and purposes, this is Zenithal primer. Because if you look at it this way, it's silver, but if you look at it that way, it's black. But that's not really like smooth. So we're gonna just we're gonna cheat a little bit, and we're gonna do like 45-degree kind of thing. The same thing, but with a 45-degree angle. So now we can kind of blend this into a more so now the top is like fully silver, but the middle is, you know, there's some, and then if you look at it from the back, the underneath is still very black. and that pleases me. I think that's good enough. Maybe this part here, unless we want to do that little orb in like bright green later on, I think we're gonna cheat some silver in there. There we go. We have successfully cheated. Now let's do the guard in. I don't know why exactly. If I feel like the guard should be. I'll do that piece as well. Okay. Yeah, because this one, these Necrons, we did a full army on stream. Like actually, the first live stream I tried on YouTube, that was painting a full army in a day. And so the scheme for, because this is my own collection. Some of the other character streams that we did was for like eBay or selling or whatever. But these ones they go in my own pile of stuff. This is really to get rid of my pile of shame. So we have to stick with that like kind of stupid scheme that goes fast. Like it's fun because it goes fast and we can do 3 HQs in one lunch hour, but it's not the most like intricate Necrons in the world. We can't explore some fancy techniques just because we want them to match. Okay, so next step. Well, we got this here. We'll shut down the compressor over there because we won't need it until slightly later. Now, next up, we will use a good old sponge action. See, I'm like super ill prepared. I have nothing like handy. I have to like reach for everything. It's the worst. The worst. Let's just get this and just like cut it into a. Some people prefer like sponges when they're completely random. I like the squared away, like the squared away edges. I don't know why. And then we'll use shining silver from the army painter. And we don't need a lot of this one. And then we'll do kind of our highlighting with this, and it'll give it like a little bell damage type of look. Come here, little buddy. Okay, there we go. So we'll start with, we'll do kind of everything, even the pieces that we don't think are going to end up silver, we'll still do them that way. Just because if they do end up silver, then we save some time. So again, I'm going around the edges first, and then we can add some more in other intricate parts. This is a cool mini, actually. I don't think I've only seen marks painted up. I don't think I've seen like an Illuminor in the wild before. Oh no, that's not trap played against one. I got my ass whooped by an Illuminor before. Fine, be that way, little sponge. So we're starting to get like some effect on there, and it gives us like a little bit of highlights and a little bit of texture. So that's how we can cheat these like simple colors, is by at least making it kind of interesting. Like this simple paint job is a little bit more interesting than it should be, just because we're not doing like traditional painting. It's not like all flat and everything. It's got texture. Also, this is very simple. Like, this is foolproof. Like, everybody can do this. You don't need any skill or anything to do this, you know. Ooh, that's a big one. That's a big chunk. Because I dropped the sponge, so that's not good. Okay, let's do this big, like, chunky. Actually, let's do like a bunch of that staff, just because I don't know. Again, I probably don't want the whole staff to be green. I probably don't want the whole staff to be silver. So we'll do. You know, we'll make the silver on it correct, and then if we paint over it, we paint over it. It's not a big deal. Okay, well, let's do that little piece on the base here. Same thing as the Necron thing. Even though it's a T-beam and they shouldn't be. They rarely are silver colored, but that's okay. That's okay. So I think we're gonna try to do from 11 to 1. We'll see like if we can do all 3 in 2 hours, or if we can just do 2 or something like that. But again, because they're very simple, I believe that we can do this pretty quickly. The Deceiver is probably the longest one, just because we have to blend some. But then again, it's all airbrush, so you know it's not that long. The Deceiver has barely any. Oops, sorry. Leaving with the green screen here, folks. Yeah, he barely has any like surfaces that we don't need to airbrush, because it's like just one big chunk of guy. Okay, so I like this. So now we get some highlights, some texture. This one is. Oops. That wasn't me. I didn't drop it. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Okay, there we go. That's fine. Next up, let's do the green, the dark green next. It's the most fun color. Let's get a brushed size brush here. That one, that guy, and then dark green. So we're gonna need this. We're gonna need this. We are gonna need this eventually. Where's that dark green at? We're gonna need this. We're gonna need null oil. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is plenty to get us started. We don't need to go crazy just yet. These here. So dark green, we're gonna do essentially all the wirings with this, and then yeah, he didn't have a cloak or anything, so we're gonna do all the wirings with this, and maybe some extra details on the staff, like the handle and whatnot. But we'll start with this big one, this big wire. This is the most obvious one. And I'm kind of tempted doing the inside of this little piece as well in this green, just because I don't know what it is, and it looks like the stuff that's like on the Silent King. There's like these little pillars and stuff, and the texture looks very similar. I think we did those in green on the throne of what's his face. So maybe that's a good idea because he's like not wired in, you know. He's got a little bit of wires, but not that many. And if we don't do like enough different colors, it's gonna look very, very boring. And this is like a big mini, so you kind of have to force, you have to make sure that something stands out. Otherwise, it's just a big chunky pile of silver, and we don't want that. Well, to some extent, they're all big piles of silver, but you know, if we can make it a little bit better than just a bare minimum, that would be great. Oh, he's got like a perfect. This is perfect. Perfect texture. The little groin cloth thingamabob. I don't know what to call it. That thing over there. That's a great green spot. And then we'll do the weapon. And then we'll kind of, I guess we'll assess how much green it needs, and then we'll add some more. Because these are the parts that I kind of know that I want green. Like regardless, these things are going to be green, and that's going to be fine, you know. But then every other aspect is just like extra credit, if you will. Okay, that's not too shabby. There are other wires in there. There's not a lot of wires. I was expecting wires. There's no. Yeah, so I think we do the big chunky thing that I don't know what it is. Like just the inside of it. The outside like frame we can leave silver. Okay, now. And then I feel like I want some more green. Oh, maybe we do. We could cheat and do the guy there, like the dead guy with like parts of like a green uniform. That could be. Because if we do the guy in like kind of the same color, like with silver, with black, and with green, then I think it. I actually like that idea a little bit. My main issue with the dead dude, is the skin color is gonna look really, really weird. Just because it doesn't fit with anything else. That's like my only thought about this guy is the skin. Like we have to find a way to do the skin tones so that this guy does not look completely out of place. And my other thinking is we just do the skin tone bright green, like he was like being completely like sucked in by magic and stuff, which would be like maybe too simple, if that's that's possible. Like even for me that would be too simple, which says a lot because I'm okay with like a very minimalistic take on these Necrons. So if I'm thinking this might be too simple, might be cheating. It might actually be cheating. So we're not gonna do that. Oh, there's a wire over there. Found you. So I think that's like enough of that green for now. We can unfuck we can unfuck it later on if we so desire. But for now, this is going to be enough. We'll figure it out later. Okay, let's take a smaller brush and then just highlight this. This is a very small brush. Whatever. All right. So I'm only painting the top part, and I'm also trying not to go into the recesses. But the recesses doesn't matter too much because we're gonna shade this, and so the little lines on there, they're gonna be even darker when we're done with this. So it's not the we're gonna be pretty loose about this. It doesn't matter too much. Same thing here. It's like a cracked up like stone. So we're gonna try to not go into the recesses, but if we do, it's not the end of the world, you know. Oh yes, I did. I did. Honestly, I only finished because I said last stream that we were gonna do this one now because I hated every. It was miserable. It's like I didn't have the instructions. I bought him second hand. I didn't have the instructions, and the ones on Reddit are the flakiest. So I think I put something wrong, and then it kind of snowballed from there. But that's not the end of the world. But it's like it's a very once it's assembled and stuff, it's a very cool mini, you know. Like now that it's assembled, I don't hate him as much as I did. Also, I realized I saw a list online. This guy is infantry in the game. That means he can go into a ghost arc, and he can also come through a monolith gate if he desires, and that's funny to me. I've never played him, but I think since I like the Canoptic Court a lot, he's like the main man of the Canoptic Court, like the lore character for it. So maybe I give him a try, but I need to buy some more immortals. I think he goes well with the immortals, like combo, so to speak. So maybe if I buy 10 more immortals to go with him, I have a fun thing to play with. I've seen him in Awakened Dynasty as well, just because you can make him come back to life, and like he's a very good dude. So that's also like a fun little combo that we can try. Well, no, because June is not started yet, so I'll find something else. Also, the Necrons for the painting challenge are kind of dumb because we can do three in like an hour. So no, I'm gonna do. I haven't figured out what I'll do. Probably the Emperor Children might be a good time to whip out my Emperor's Children and actually start them. I think I have like 3,000 points of Emperor's Children in the box. They're not unbuilt. I did nothing with them. Like I bought them on the release and with the big boxes that they came out, and then I never did anything with them since that point because I got busy with other stuff. So, but like, I was watching Felix play them the other day for his like crusade thing. I was like, this army looks fun. I watched Francois Lalonde also play them a couple of games like on the internet, and it looked like a really fun army. It definitely does not look like my kind of army, so that I'm kind of interested in that regard, where it's not like an army that I usually play. Okay, I mean, our buddies you know, he's nothing impressive, but it's we're starting to get somewhere with this. Also, I'm painting ogres like a crazy person. The ogres are going well. Going pretty well. I don't have them here. I would show you, but I don't have them on hand. They're tucked away. I'm gonna get some more coffee, and then we'll keep going with this. Oh yeah. Okay, we are super back. So now, I guess let's start applying some of that bright green to stuff like the eyes and whatnot. And that should, again, the adding the bright green should give us like a better indication of what to do with the, because essentially this big chunk here I want to do with the airbrush for sure, because there's no reason not to. Same thing with the top part, and then probably the bottom part of the little axe situation. We'll do those with the airbrush so we can have like some glowy thingy. But we do have to figure out like what to do with Buddy Boy over there. We should name him. Guys, I need a name for Buddy Boy here. I know Buddy Boy is the running contender, but it's not a good enough name, so you guys have a better idea. We'll abide by it. I mean, as long as I can like say it without getting you know, banned on YouTube. You can just name like you're like the one coworker that you don't like. Just give him that name. I'll call him that. And he's the guy getting fucking warped away. So you know. I think we're gonna need to switch. I don't know why I'm like I picked this brush to do this. This is completely we're doing like small details, and I have this big ass wonky brush. This is stupid. Yeah. Okay. Brush. It's not you. It's me. Brush. You know, you tried your bestest, but this is just not. We're not about that life here. Okay. As we're adding green, this is becoming like slightly more interesting. Yeah, we're not, you know, we're not in the realm of like this is amazing, because this is not going to be like an amazing mini by itself. Like these Necron, they look good because all of them are painted in a eye-catching way. But each and every, the more you look at the Necrons themselves, the less interesting they get. The more, because the more flaws that you see. Aha. Okay. So what else? Because we know this big chunk here is going to be green. This bottom piece here is going to be green as well. So Oh, we have one. Like, there's a couple of like scarabs. They have one eye, so we'll do the one eye. Or one thing. I don't know if it's an eye actually. It's I was thinking the Sun King, but I don't feel like building. Oh man. Well, the good thing about like the Sun King is you can multiple build it. Um, so because you can build part of it, then paint like a big chunk of it before putting all of it together. So it's like a part. You have to do a part build. It's much easier. So that's kind of if because like if you're like me and you hate building it because it's like a I don't like building models in general. So that was kind of a fun one for me because it's like it's just basically it's a part build. So I like the idea of doing this guy in like black and green so he doesn't stand out too much. I don't know if you guys think this is like a huge mistake. Now would be a good time to tell me because we're about to do this. But I think black and dark green is like the way to go on this guy. It's keeps everything simple and to the point. We could also maybe do blue. Blue would not like dark blue and black would not be like too out of place with this. Huh. This is an interesting dilemma. So let's get Black Legion contrast paint right now. Because with Black Legion contrast paint, what we can do is do a bunch of the base. Anyways, that'll get us started on that black front, and we can, if we paint half of this guy, it doesn't matter. Because the base being silver also tones down the. Yeah, it's like it's like, but we're gonna do that bright green. This like, I don't know what it is. He's like sucking the soul out of this dude, which like I've known ladies like that, and they're really great. But this guy does not seem like he does it in the same friendly fashion. But he, yeah, it's so like again the main issue I have with this guy is making the skin tone something that fits with the entire model without being overtaking because it's like really the only like reddish color that's on there. I think it's going to be mitigated by the fact that the base is like a reddish blue. Uh, what's a reddish brown? Excuse me. Um, so that might give us like a chance at that guy not looking so weird. Because like on the real artwork thing, it's like it's a gray base and the guy is painted in brown tones and it's the first thing you see on the mini. Because it's a bunch of brown tones underneath like a reddish, red purple like energy thingy on the box art. Ow. He's not having a good time for sure. He does not look like a happy camper. You know what? Let's use an even bigger brush. Yeah. Bought this especially because I was running out of brushes for big project like bases and stuff. Oh yeah. which you have to be careful around the. But just getting the base back into a like black instead of the overspray is it already gives us like a much better look at what we're doing. And to what like the final product is gonna be like. Yeah, now we can do a little bit more thin down just to go faster on the sanded area. Because this is not gonna stay, it's not gonna stay black, obviously. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we are in a better place. Now let's wash this guy down. Okay, so this took like more. I have like not solved any of my. I thought maybe doing this whole thing black would like settle us for what to do next. It is not, so that's a bummer. Sometimes you have to manufacture a stroke of genius. I was doing that. I was like trying to get my. Oh yeah, this is gonna like an illuminating moment. It did not happen. So I think we're gonna stick with our very basic. Like if it sucks, it's okay. We'll repaint the dead guy. You know what I mean? Which we still have yet to name. So chat, come on now. Tell me the name of that coworker that you hate. That like fucking that lady in accounting that's like super judgy or whatever, and that's gonna be our dead guy's name. Whatever you cannot say to their face because of HR, you can say to me in this chat, and that will be the name of our dead buddy on the base here. Everybody has like a Susan from accounting that they hate. It's a universal thing. Oh, is he in a robe? Is that not pants? It's a. Oh my God, Susan from accounting is in a robe, guys. Golly. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, now we're cooking, as the kids say. Okay. Yeah, this is just fine. This is just fine. because it's nothing too. It's like it's not a crazy color. I think this is a good idea. I think this is gonna work out for us. Next up, we're gonna give this some highlights. Like not too much, just a couple of highlights. We don't need to. We don't need to overdo it. We also don't need to be like super precise. We're gonna trust into non-oil to do the work for us here. Okay. Yeah, oh yeah. Because now that's like just interesting enough that once we add the bright green, this is not gonna look out of place and it's not gonna draw the attention from anything in the mini. So I'm very on board with this. Now there's a little thing I wanted to do since like about 20 minutes ago. So we're gonna do it now, and it's just essentially filling up the little holes on the butt. I don't know what they call it, the speed holes, you know. There we go. Yep, I like this. Okay, next up, let's tackle the skin thingamabob here. So the logical way to do the skin would be to do it super light, because like like life is getting drained out of him, so he should be like very pale. But if we do it kind of dark, it will match up the base color, which might be more interesting. And by more interesting in this case just means it's not. I don't want this to stand out. I've said this like 19 times already. The goal is for this guy to kind of blend in a little bit, just be an accessory to the cool glowy stuff. No idea what I'm doing now. No idea, guys. Yeah, light gray would definitely not be too. Ooh, yeah. You know what? Let's try that. Light gray. Ooh, check coming in the clutch here. Let's give that a whirl. Huh, let's try some grayish color. If it sucks, we paint over it. We don't care. Let's give this a try. We'll just do super dark gray first, just to get a base going. I think it's gonna look nice actually with the because that color, once we blend in some of that green, I think it's gonna look nice. Okay, that's okay, chat. Good job. I like this. That's a good idea. I went for bluish instead of greenish, but it's still the gray idea. The green idea kind of works really well. it's got another like hand in the dirt type thing. So far, you know, nothing really groundbreaking, but I feel like with this and like some sort of like turquoise shading on top, it's gonna look, it's gonna make sense. Because the way I see this is like all the crevices, like the holes in the eyes and the mouth, we can do bright green. Like the inside is like the where the energy is coming from. So we're gonna have like some interesting little effect, and then like this, you have to realize that this dead guy is taking up like more than the is taking the most time of this entire mini. Just because this is the most interesting, like this whole mini is to make this effect look cool. Like the entire model, the goal is to make this piece of it look really nice, because that's the cool part of Szeras is that he's fucking warping a guy. Okay, so that's fine. Now let's do non-oil first, because there's a lot of non-oil going around this, and then we'll get Cohelia. I think is what it's called. Cohelia green shade. That's gonna be our zombie skin color to bring the green, like, as our friend Mr. Dwarf said here. So I like that idea. Where's the? Oh, there it is. Non-oil color. So non-oil is basically for all the dark green. Because that's gonna take care of all these recesses. Gonna bring back a lot of dark to it. And if we did our highlights correctly, it should leave some bright green into the highlight areas, basically. So all the raised areas should not get touched too much, whereas all the darker recesses, like all the holes, will be black. I'm gonna break this before the end of this stream if I'm not careful, so let's try to be careful. That one here, the loincloth, I guess, for lack of a better word, is not very detailed, so I think we might have to come back with an extra highlight at the end there. Okay. So this is a hard. These minis are kind of hard to imagine when we have the main color, like the main accent color, not on the mini. It's hard to see like where you're going or if you're doing a good job, because it doesn't look like much until you have that final accent in there. But I've done enough Necrons now that I can. This is where it should be, so to speak. So I think we're doing great. I think we're in a good spot here to kind of finish this correctly. Let's take our small brush and just do the green shading in the skin. This is like sea blue color, or sea green, I guess. Okay, which brings us to some sexy color. And by that I mean bright green that we can airbrush like crazy people. And we're gonna do the bright green before we do the base, because I don't want the base to have a lot of the overspray. Sometimes you can do it. I don't like this for this army. That's not how we did the other ones. So we're gonna keep the overspray to a minimum in this situation. There's still gonna be some, because we're not gonna be, again, this is like speed painting. Like we did this guy in, like, this is an hour in right now. You know, so there's like, this is not a high quality thing. This is a high quality, like, this is gonna give us like a quality gaming piece, but not a high quality paint job by any means. It's just gonna be an interesting model to put in our army, which is what I like about this. And all my Necrons is just, they look cool when they're together. When they're alone, yeah. Okay, so we got our bright green here. So let's start with the easier one of the bunch. Okay, off to a decent start. Let's do that one now. Whoa. And we can touch up some other aspects. Like the angle at which you spray kind of determines where the overspray, if any, is going to be. So some of these areas, you know, there's a bunch here and stuff. So, but we're going to redo that part. But now, I think now we got something interesting going. And Susan from accounting is looking terrible. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want out of Susan from accounting. Okay, this is good enough. Now we're gonna add some yellow to this funky color. Well, actually, we're gonna dump this and then put some yellow. And then the yellow we're also gonna do with a brush at the end there to add some more, like some other areas that had no glow whatsoever, that they're too small to do with this big chunky airbrush. So we're going to do those at the end there with a brush, and we can also fine tune these ones that we're doing now with some classic edge highlights. Okay, so that's mostly rinsed out, so we can just add a little bit of that yellow. Yellow. Sheesh, it's a lot of yellow. Okay. So yellow, same thing, but we're gonna be much more delicate with this one. So now we have like some sort of a fluo color going. I like that. Cool. Because now we have the same kind of idea, but then once we add it with a brush, we can do a more interesting look, and we can accentuate a lot here. So that's okay. And we'll just do this side here. The weaponry. There we go. And then we're gonna save this, and we can use this to highlight, because we don't need a lot to highlight. Yep. And we'll give this a quick rinse, because we're going to do another Necron right after this, right? Because we can have this double feature. We're allowed to. We're just going to quickly. Yeah, that should be fine. I'm not like too deep in the cleaning this, just because I know we're going to use this airbrush again in like 10 minutes or so. So we'll leave them there and be okay with this. So now, last little highlights situation. So we're going to start with the bigger areas that have no highlight at all already, like this piece here, this little globe. And then the eyes as well, eyes that no. And then these little test tube thingies. So. Okay. And so now we can do the fun thing, which is making this glow a little bit more here with the Nice. Okay, I'm on board with this. I am on board with this. So we can add some last little highlights here on the crystal. And on the weapon overall, we don't need to. We don't need to go crazy here, again, because that's not the main. Okay. I sort of like this look because now we got the real focus is exactly what we want. It's our dead guy. The skin doesn't look too off. That was a good idea. The gray, and it doesn't look too much because we got like a lot of that grain shining through it. So I'm kind of happy with this. And then we're just gonna make sure that the back is like highlighted properly, even though like the back is like not sculpted, but like the details are very minimal on this side compared to this. This is really weird. This is unlike Games Workshop to do that. Usually they're pretty good at doing the full, like the full mini type thing. Next, so we're gonna put the base back to black because we got like more overspray than I thought we would get on this. So that's on me. That's a little mistake. And I know you could leave this, like we could leave a lot of this there. You could do you can force kind of this effect to go on the base as well. Oops, that's not good. That is not good. You could force this effect to go on the base. Like you could want that overspray to be like a part of the base to get that color in there. I do not. Just because that's how we did the other Necrons. The other Necrons have barely any glow on the bases. I think the Monolith has a little bit and the King has a little bit, but that's about it. Okay, so we have like an interesting guy here. Nothing crazy, but this guy in the middle of an army, I think he's gonna stand out, and he's gonna stand out because it's a big dude and he's got like the big weaponry and stuff. But he's also gonna fit really well with the rest of our army, which is exactly where I live. We're gonna give this some time to dry. I'm gonna wipe the brush down, not clean it, just because I want to dry brush with this in a hot minute. So we're just gonna make sure it's like clean-ish, and we'll clean it afterwards. Now the last thing I want to do is add some green shading a little bit, and mostly like in the eyes and whatnot, like the small some small areas, not everywhere. Yeah, well, when I said not everywhere, maybe I want to do it a little bit everywhere. Maybe just a smidge everywhere, you know. This side. I don't know if you guys can. There's a big mold. I need to clean this. There's like a big mold line on the blade here. I need to clean it before. I'm not gonna do this on this stream, but like before we use this guy or bring it to like an event or something, I need to So now I'm happy with this. The brown thing should be dry enough that we can dry brush the base thing. Sorry. Again, normally we would do all the minis and then come back to this, but for the purpose of this this video stream, we will do the full guy here. Oops, sorry about that. I'm leaving with the green screen. Want to get my little notebook because it says how to paint the Necrons in the little notebook here. Because the base I don't remember. Sorry about that. Need to do some little light reading like a fucking nerd. Sister Battle Orcs. Nurgle Mark. That's not those. Necrons. Bases black. Dry brush Doombull. Dry brush Scrag Brown. Dry brush Tau Light Ochre. See? This is the power of the notebook. Because Doombull is not where I would have started with this. But now we know. Doombull. And we need a new little thingamabob. There we go. And like, you don't need to be a maniac like me and use this insanely large size brush to do this. I'm just a maniac. We might have to touch up the little scarabs. I think doing the scarabs and the like the construction signs here, they might get dry brushed over. So I think we're just gonna accept that we might have to do some silver touch-ups to the base instead of trying to be really pretty around it. We're just gonna accept that this is not gonna work out. Because we'll end up saving much more time this way with touch-ups rather than trying to dodge them and then lose like an insane amount of time going around. Man, like this brown color, just with just one like coat of dry brush, this brown color contrasts so much with the green. This is just great. Like the base is like a big part of why this Necron scheme it works. I just like it so much. For something like kind of like picking the right colors, something it gives you like a lot more freedom into other things. There was a scarab on there, but too bad. It's gonna be repainted. Nice. Next up, Scrog Brown. Scrog Brown, basically the same thing, but a little bit lighter this time. We don't need to go as heavy. now we are cooking. Oops. It's funny. This is good. When you look at it this way, you see in the camera, you can see the green like here and here. And I can't see it like in real life. This is wild. This is really good. This is really cool. Like there's a spot here of grain. I cannot see this like to save my life. Interesting. Huh. It's such a weird angle. It's because the camera picks it up at like such a weird angle. This is great. That's cool. I've never really had that effect. Like I could not see it like at all. This is really interesting. Because sometimes when I do the stream, the camera shows me something. I'm like, oh, I missed this this thing. But now I can't even see. This is cool. Okay, and then just a last very quick dry brush with Tau Light Ochre. And then we'll give, of course, this guy a proper rim job. Well, we have to finish the little scarabs. See, that's always the thing, is like we could finish the scarab, or we can move on to the next one, because like for the sake of the stream and the video, this is kind of a... This is kind of done, you know what I mean? But for the sake of being thorough, we'll finish it for realsies. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. So now we're going to wash this big brush here for real, because we don't want it to clog up with paint. All right. And then we're going to take our black here. Black Legion. Give this a proper shake. And then, so we're going to touch up our little scarabs. We're going to touch up the little like construction pieces here. Well, this one is pretty spot on. This little scarab, well, yeah, you know what? We don't need to do that in black. We'll do those ones here because these ones are like way more covered than the other one. The other guy is kind of still good. I'm going to thin this down like a lot, and then I'm going to try to hide. There's like a grain here that's like... I can't see it, but on the stream it was prevalent, but now it's harder to see. So I'm gonna trust that the camera's right on this. You know, no reason why it should make up stuff. This camera's not a liar. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Okay, and then we'll do, I guess we can do the good old rim job right now. There's no real reason not to give this guy a proper rim job. There never is. Well, you know what we might do? We might keep the other Necron characters for sometime later, you know? Who knows? Oh, well, it's you know, we can do... The other ones are going to be... This is the longest one, I think, for sure. So, yeah, we'll do some more Necrons. It's fine. Well, yeah, we can keep streaming. This has been so short. We can keep streaming. Okay, so that's fine. That is fine. And then we'll just take our small brush, take some sort of like silver. Where is it? Fuck, did I put it so far? This was wild. This guy's crazy. So then we'll just do the little, whoops. Can't grab it by the side because that's what we just did, so. Okay. Okay, now this is perfect. Perfect. So I'm pretty happy with this little dude here. I like everything and like the dark silver and then the super bright green. I think this guy is gonna look really nice with our army. So I'm pretty happy about the Illuminor himself. You know, again, not the most complex thing, but it fits with the whole army. The whole army is very simplistic. He looks nice. He looks more detailed than the common guys. So that's perfect. That's exactly where we live. The more you look at it, more flaws you'll find, but that's okay. He's not meant to be seen alone. He's meant to lead his legion. So he's gonna look perfect with that in that role. Now, do we do this guy, which is 90% airbrush, or do we do this guy, which is just a standard Necron guy, but he's the main character of most stories because he is the Lord of the Stormlords. The storm, the Lord of the Storms, Lord. We'll do. This guy is not as fun. We'll do. I think we'll do the this guy here. Okay, we are in business. So let's start with silver. And I think honestly, this guy is gonna go like really fast. So we might have time to do the other as well. Woo! Wait. Okay. So again, we're doing like a cheater's zenithal primer here with this, meaning like we're doing mostly a zenithal highlight. But because we're leading heavily on the black, we have to cheat a little bit to make sure that silver gets like a little bit deeper than it normally would. Because normally it would just be on top like this. But we need it to be like on the sides as well a little bit. We can't just go top down and be okay with this because it's going to be way too dark otherwise. And we're also going to do the platform, I guess. I don't know. I think this would look really nice in green. My only issue with this being green is that the guy has like so much. Like he has got the big cloak and then the loincloth and then the staff. So there's like a lot of green going on onto this guy that I don't want to repeat it on the base. But I think if you have like a more intricate Necron scheme, this is a very cool thing not to do silver. It's just my scheme is a little bit too simple, so I feel like that's a little handicap here that we have. Yeah, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. it just gives you more options for your guys. Like assuming you did not go the crazy route and paint a full army in a day, then you have more time to allocate on your models. But maybe you also don't give a rat's ass about that, and you want to get your little metal skeleton zombies on the board as quickly as possible. In which case, this is the way here. This is the way to go. So again, we're going to use the airbrush very quickly into this scheme because it's not a big complicated scheme. So we're going to keep this. We're going to keep it just rinsed, but not not clean per se. What we're going to do next, we're going to do the silver, of course. So let's just cut this at a proper angle. And then add some silver to our palette. We don't need a lot. This guy's very small. Well, you don't say that to his face that he's very small, but we all know it. He's not the big guy. And we have some more. Paper towel situation. Okay, there we go. We can start with the base. So we'll do kind of like, again, we're using a sponge, but we're still doing kind of the hedge highlight situation where we're trying to get the edges of each like little circle done, and then we'll focus on other areas. Oh, if our model is like too dark or not interesting enough, we can do all the little like crevices in the base in like bright green. That would be interesting if we need something else to look great. Like I think that's a good option, because we could do this green and then we could spray green on the bottom of the mini to make as if the base was like shining. This might be I like this idea a lot. This might be a little bit more complicated than what we usually do. Like this is not like the original idea, but I kind of like it. So I think we might try to do that. That sounds like a fun thing that we can do, and also this kind of cements this guy as like the lord, because this is the main guy besides the Silent King, right? Like the Imothek, he's the main character basically. So having him with something a little bit cooler than just a red, because otherwise he's like just an overlord with a bigger cape. So maybe doing that will give us like something a little bit more interesting, without a too much work, which is kind of the idea behind this. Like the idea behind speed painting is getting the most value for our effect. So I like this idea. I think that's what we're gonna go for. And if it sucks, well, it sucks, and it's on camera for everybody to see. But that's okay. We don't get too attached to the outcome. Okay, that's fine. This is mighty fine here. So let's take a big brush and do some sort of like green base. Oh yeah, because that's the main color that we have to do is this bright dark green here. There's a lot of it on this guy. This guy is not shying away from the dark green. Oh yeah. Okay, we are off to a good start. Now the little here, we could do the little ears in green as well. I think with the cloak is going to be enough green that we don't need to do the little panels here around his head in green. So what we'll do is we'll do the cloak now, and then doing the cloak will allow us to see like what's what. Because I think the cloak and the staff are more interesting than the little ears. And if we still feel after the cloak and the staff that is missing the dark green or that is too simple, then I think we do it. But otherwise, I don't think we need to do it to get like an interesting mini. Because the real idea is just to make it cool, right? Like, is making the little ears in green gonna make it better or worse? And then that's just what we have to figure out. And then if the answer is like, well, it's not gonna make a big difference, well, then we don't do it because it's gonna take us time for no real gain out of this. This is a very pragmatic approach, I think. It's a little bit less artsy, because we're really focused on efficiency. But it's still it's still art, I think. It's just a different goal. Oh yeah, this cloak is badass. And the only reason we do this with a brush like this size is just because of the scarabs in there that I don't really want to touch up. Like we could take a much bigger brush and then redo the little scarabs, but yeah, whatever, mistakes were made. I feel like something is not glued on properly because it moves a lot. Like I know our buddy Parabellum, if he was here, would probably have nightmares about this. It's making me nervous. Like the cloak moves a lot when I paint it. That's probably just like not glued properly on top there. I probably did a shit job at gluing this. It's not a big deal. We'll re-glue when it breaks. We'll re-glue it. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay. Now the inside of the cloak gets the same treatment. Should switch brush, but I'm committed to this one. It's a love story, yeah, so we're not. Would it make sense? Yes. Would it go faster? Yes. Am I gonna do it? If you guys can't see what I'm doing, don't worry. I can't either. So. Oh, so there were scarabs inside the cloak, so we might have to give this a little touch up at the end there. Because they did not get like any kind of silver. Then again, they were really hard to see, so. Oh, it's the arm. It's the arm that like. Ooh, oh, we're gonna break this. Ooh, I feel it. I feel like breakage is in our future. Okay, now. This is cool. Yeah, so I think we do the staff thingy, the staff portion thing. And I think that's going to be like more than enough green that we don't need to do any extra pieces in green. Even the little robe here might not be necessary. Maybe the side one, like there's like 3 pieces. Maybe the 2 side ones, that would be okay. Yeah, let's do that. Like not the middle thing, but the 2 side ones. I think we. Yeah, that's oh yeah, oh yeah, that's the stuff. Cool. I'm pretty happy. I want to. I'm happy to do this guy because I wanted to play it for a little bit, and I didn't have it. You know, I didn't have it at all, and didn't have it painted. So I'm really stoked to do this guy because he was like in a lot of lists. So I'm glad that I finally get to play it. Assuming I play Necrons anytime soon. So now we're gonna go for like very broad highlight on the cloak, especially. We're gonna go for very broad highlights at first, and then we're gonna kind of fine tune these highlights as we go. So I'm kind of like following the shape of the cloak here. So it's like this part here dark green, and then as it curves here is lighter green, and then because then once we get like the rough outline, then we can start to do a little bit of like each plate, not individual. Like we're not gonna paint each plate individually because like that's masochism. Like the doing all the plates would defeat the purpose of like speed painting because then we'd spend like 30 minutes on these little scales. Maybe more, probably more actually, but whatever. There we go. Okay now. Same thing here, and same thing with this one. We just need small highlights. You don't need to overcomplicate things, Because this one, even if we're not like the most precise with our highlight, the shading is gonna take care of all these little lines here, all the recesses in the tubing. So it's gonna be fine. And then the inside of the cloak, we're gonna do kind of the same idea that we did in the back. So we're just gonna focus on where the cloak goes, and we're gonna match this. Oops. So something like this. So the top part and the curve here is more green, or lighter green, I guess. And so now we have this interesting thing. So what I think we do is we shade it, and then we come back with this exact color to highlight it. Because normally maybe we would not give a crap about this, but since this is like an HQ and the cloak is so big, we're gonna have to put a little bit more effort into this. Well, we don't have to, but we're gonna, you know what I mean. Like, we don't have to do anything. This is ours. Yeah, we do what we want. That's the beauty of miniature painting. But in order to make this not suck completely, let's assume that we don't want this guy to suck butt. Okay. Let's go for more coffee. Okay, now. So. Yeah, I guess this leaves us to doing the not a grok search, null oil step right here, right now. Null oil, give this a proper shake, and we are. So we'll try to do the null oil in the same order that we did the green. That way, technically, it will be dry by the time that we get to each part. I think that's what we started with. Was it? So now the null oil, a lot of people they agree it's changed in the past. Like, it's not what it used to be. But I really like it for this specific effect because it leaves it's black really only in the recesses. The parts are not recesses are really not affected as much by the shades anymore. That's like one of the changes they made, and so a lot of people did not like it for null oil because it's less potent. But for this very specific effect, it's pretty cool because it will outline all of these little scales for us with very minimal work, and it's also going to leave the bright green highlight mostly there. Like, again, we're going to probably touch it up a little bit, but for the most part, it's going to still be bright green. So that's really cool. Because if we wanted to get like just a darker tone across the entire thing, we could just use Black Templar, the contrast paint, and then thin that down a little bit. Then we'd get like a much more uniform like shading, so it would darken the whole thing. But instead, this here is going to really give us exactly what we want, which is like, look at all this, all the area between the scales are all black. So now it's going to not shine as much once it dries. So that's kind of a right now it's a little bit shiny, but that's okay. Let's do the little side thingy and the staff there at the end. Necrons are sort of easy when you have like easy schemes. You know what I mean? Like some armies are really hard. Like orcs. Orcs is a good. Orcs is like a hard army to paint. Like orcs model, you cannot do this on orcs model. Like there's no real way to make like cool looking orcs in like such a simple dumb way, because this is dumb. Like let's not kid ourselves. Uh, but Necrons is one that like you're kind of allowed to do it. Like it works. So that's real. I think we take advantage of this like a whole lot. So I like that. So now we're gonna do our bright green with a brush first, and then we'll airbrush the crap out of it. So we'll do the areas that need the brush on first, and we'll start with the base. It's gonna be a precise endeavor. So that was not the original plan, but I thought it would be an interesting idea. So we're gonna give this a try. If it sucks, it sucks. You know, it's not the end of the world. Again, we don't get too attached to the outcome. If this sucks, we prime it black and then we try again. You know what I mean? Like it's not a big deal. There's very little things in Warhammer painting that is like permanent damage. So that's a bonus of this art form, that not all arts are created equal. Where sometimes when you fuck up the entire thing. It's really rare for Warhammer to just not go, well, start over. No, I guess we should do the big, bulky, whatever that thing is. Rooms. And then the runes thing, we're gonna need like two coats. The other parts is just one coat because they're very small and very easy to fill. The runes part is gonna need a little bit extra loving. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. That's a start. That's a start. I don't know if I like it yet, but we'll see. I guess we'll see. There's no. So like so far, I don't like this, but I think with the final effect and the guy standing on top is probably going to be nice. But right now is not looking like success to me. That's okay. So the eyes, we're going to fill the entire like eyes area. We're not doing only the dots. The dots is going to be the yellow. I like the dark silver and the bright green is like such a good combo. I really like the idea of color. Okay, okay. Do we need something else here? In green, I mean, in bright green. I don't think so. I think we're all greened out. We could do the dots here, but I feel like with the we should do the we'll do the bottom of the staff. We'll do that in with a brush, and then I think we'll highlight this with the airbrush, but we'll do the base coat just so that we don't get a lot of overspray. Oh yeah. Okay now. I like you don't need to hate the overspray. You can plan around it and you can make that like a feature in your army. This army is not one of those where there's not a lot of like overspray and everything glowing. Even this base is kind of like a unique situation, whereas this is the only one that's gonna do that. So, but speaking of that, we'll do the airbrush first, I guess. There's no. Ooh, wee. Okay, so we'll do our green first. Oh, I guess we should break the guy from the base at this point in time. It would make a lot of sense actually. Okay, we'll add some green here. Just dots. Okay, there we go. That's too many. Yeah, it's too much. Too much green. Yeah, I think we're gonna remove. Well, what we'll do as much as we can, and then we'll cut the feet. I'm assuming I'm gonna break it as I try to remove him from that base, but that's Okay, there we go. We got the green. So we'll do the weapon, of course. That's the main. Oof. Okay. Just a smidge here on the. Same thing, just a little bit on this side, and then it will do a little bit on the base as well. I don't want to do too much. I just want to do around the big plate on the base, so I don't get like too much of the green, but just a little halo. And then we're gonna cut this guy from this. Oh, maybe we're gonna get lucky. Maybe I didn't glue it like a savage. Oh yes, I didn't glue it like a savage. Because I remember I cut the pegs underneath the foot so we could put them on this base. But I wasn't sure how much this guy was like glued on there. So. So So what I'm interested in is a little glow, and so like what you'll notice, the idea is that everything has like this lighter green tone to it, but nothing is like green first. Like if you look at that color, like on the leg here that we're gonna do, like that leg is not green. It's still silver. So that's what you want to do with this spray situation. If at some point you're spraying and it becomes like a green, you fucked up. You know, that's just how it is. Okay, I like this. I like this effect. This is fun. This is a fun one. So it's not too. I like it just because it's not too like obvious, so to speak. Like it's green, it's there, but it's not like it's not the only thing you see. So that makes me happy about this. So now we can add our yellow to this whole affair. So we'll rinse this green out completely, or almost complete. We don't need to do 100%. Like we don't need 100% on this. We just need it to be sort of done, sort of clean, so it doesn't spray green and that it doesn't mix up our yellow completely. But it doesn't need to be perfect. Like this is fine. This little leftover is fine. There we go. We really don't need a lot of that grain. There we go. I'm just gonna be careful because I think I put paint on my hand here. So let's do the same thing here that we did earlier. So we'll just try to do the around the little room situation. And then we'll fine tune this with an actual brush. This is just to get like a start to it. Same thing here, this weapon. And I think the other aspects we don't do with this airbrush, I think this is enough. This is enough for the airbrush. We don't need much more. We can do all the other highlights with a brush. Because we don't want to overdo the glow. So we'll put this on in my little palette over here so I can use it with a brush. And now we're going to clean the airbrush for realsies, because unless we fuck up big time on something, we're not going to reuse the airbrush today. Well, for this stream. I'm going to use it probably later on, but not for a couple of hours. So we're going to give this a good enough clean, you know, maybe not like a million years of cleaning just because it's boring as shit on stream. So we're not going to do that. But enough that it's not clogged next time I want to use it. That's the bare minimum, I guess. The bare minimums. So that should be fine. Okay. So the first thing that I want to do right now is actually not the green, it's to do the sand around this little base in black. And the reason I want to do this now is I want this to be dry when I want this to be dry when we get to the dry brush part. So, because if we keep this around, then it's not going to be dry, and then we'll have to wait. And then, you know, watching paint dry is not great content Or so I've been told. Yeah, I wouldn't know. But apparently, watching paint dry not as fun as you would expect. Cool. So I just want to get this out of the way. So now we can focus on highlighting this grain here. So we'll do all the grain parts that we did in the airbrush basically. So we have the eyes and then some more. Boop. And just like that, look at that, these little eyes. Got a little glowy effect on them. And next a little ball here. Boop boop. Okay, and we can do some extra edge highlights here on the weaponry. Nicely done. And then in the back we got a couple of like scarab. The scarabs also take a good. Like the scarabs are slightly more interesting just because they have like a little dot on them, which I'm very much in favor of. Okay, so that's mighty fine here. This is I'm pretty happy with this. So we'll put this guy aside because we'll glue him and then we'll do the couple of oops. Apparently I was disconnected. I'm sorry. I don't know if this cut or whatever. Sorry about that. Okay. And so now with little highlights, a little extra, now we're getting somewhere interesting with this, this base. Because we don't need to do the whole base again with the yellow. We just want to do little accents here and there. Something like this. And now our base is kind of interesting. And our model's also kind of interesting. So we'll do, we'll glue the guy on there, question mark? No, we'll finish the guy completely. Oh wait, there's a little scarab on there. Aha, I thought I would forget you, little scarab, but no. Okay, so we'll do one more shading section and then we'll work on the bed just so that where the black is dry. If the black is not dry, we're kind of boned because our dry brush is going to be super sloppy and it's going to ruin it, and then we have to start over, and then it's just, just terrible, just terrible. Ooh, too much, too much. Like so, and then we can do one like light pass on everything. Oh yeah. I don't want to do too much on the staff just because I like the way that it is. Like it's got that vibrant, super bright color. But if we do one very light pass, the shade is not gonna pool really anywhere. It's just gonna give the yellow a greenish tint. So we're gonna have a little bit more of that green, a little bit of that yellow. And I'm in favor of that. I like that glow to be green and not yellow. So we just have to be very like there's barely paint on my paintbrush, and I'm going like very slowly, just to make sure that it doesn't pool anywhere. Because if it starts to pool, that's when you fucked up this kind of effect. Whereas now it becomes an actual shade, and that ruins because the like OSL is reverse shading and highlighting. So if you let the shade do its thing on your glow effect, it ruins it instantly. So we'll put this guy on the side here. We don't need him for now, and then we'll do the base. There's very little of the base to do, honestly, because it's like it's mostly the silver thing that's on it, right? The pedestal or whatever, the stairs. The stairway to Necronhood. So we can do like a pretty heavy Doom Bull. So the same combo as before. So Doom Bull, Scrag Brown, and Tau Light Ochre on top of black. So we'll be a little bit more careful because we do not want to fuck up on the stairs if at all possible, you know. Like if we can't help it, we would choose not to fuck it up. Whereas on the other guy, we were like, oh well, we'll touch it up. But down this one, we've put enough effort into the little stairs that we don't want to touch it up. So even though it's like a dry brush and it's a very rough technique, we're gonna take our time. There we go. Hot dog. Hot dog. That's cool. And then we do the Scrog Brown. I'm not washing my brush in between these. I'm removing as much of the doom ball as I can without cleaning my brush, because I don't want the brush to be wet, because then it's not going to be a dry brush anymore. Oops, I put some. That's the challenge with gloves, is sometimes you don't notice when you got like paint on your hands. So you have to be a little bit more careful about that. That's just all right. Cool one. Let's just get it. And then towel light ochre. Same thing here with the light ochre. No rinsing necessary. Just a clean, quick dry brush. And you can see I'm not even going like everywhere. I'm just doing. Whoa, buddy. Okay, up. That's fine. We're gonna clean the brush now. We're gonna put our guy on top, and then we're gonna give it a little fun little rim job. I guess that sounds like a good. There we go. Do we have a little spray situation? Yes, we do. Oop. Like so. Okay, I'm not happy that we did the little effect on the base, because it gives a lot more. It gives a really nice little look. Otherwise, the mini would be very simple. So no, I'm pretty happy about this. So now we can give the guy. Oh boy, as glue is like going crazy. Sheesh. Yeah, so we can give our guy a little well-deserved rim job, and then we'll have completed 2 Necron named characters in our lunch hour, and that's great. Well, lunchtime. It's not an hour per se, right? So again, the smarter way to do this would have been to do both characters at the same time, and we could have even done like a lot more Necrons while we were at this. You know, like just do the whole pile, because it's a very. All of these techniques are very. Are made for the bulk of it. Like, it's all techniques that you can do fast and that you can line paint really quickly. So. But we did them in this order. That way, I can maybe break it down to make two different, like not video. Well, I guess videos or paint-alongs, and then you get the full effect. Like, you don't need to watch one guy to see the other one and so on. But it's the same kind of effect. Oops. But this technique is really good at doing like a bunch of minis at the same time. So I'm pretty happy with this. Let me give you guys a little look here. Put this guy on the. Nope, apparently it won't work. So I tried. I ripped my glove. So yeah, this is a good place to end it. We have a brand new Stormlord, fully painted and ready to give us a command point from the safety of my backfield. And we have an Illuminor Szeras And yeah, he's pretty cool. I've never used him, so I can't wait to see if I do try him. But he looks nice, so I'm pretty happy about this. It was a great stream. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I will see you guys in 2 weeks, I think. And I don't know what we're painting yet, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, no excuses. Hobby like champions. Have a great day.